picture this, right? You are maybe what, like 20, maybe 19 years old. You're very high in conscientiousness. You have a life that you're, goals that you want to get to at some point in your life. You have started down this self improvement journey, this entrepreneurial journey, this getting better grades in school journey. And what ends up happening is the people around you no longer fall into that identity that you're trying to create, and they don't want to be around you, or they're like kind of rude, and maybe they kind of fit into some of the people that you shouldn't, talk to or be around, or they're just kind of toxic individuals, or you guys just obviously you just don't hang out anymore, and that's what is what it is. You grow out of people, especially maybe you're 19 years old, you graduated from high school, and now all of a sudden your high school buddies are, you're not really seeing them as often, and then or maybe you went to college and some of your college buddies you're drifting apart from because they like to go out and drink, and that's not what you want to do anymore, and it sucks. But then you're in this weird little lonely stage where you're like kind of outgrown your current friends, but you're like not good enough to get like new friends. And not only am I there now, I know it sucks. Like I've been in this stage for at least like a year and a half. Now I have been able to make new friends and like better myself and get a better environment. But it's still very hard. I wouldn't consider myself completely merged with a new friend group. I have like friends in different areas, if that makes sense. Like I have a friend group here and a friend group here and a friend group here, and they're all like kind of doing the same thing, but it's not like these. I don't have anyone that's like these are my bros. I have one guy that I would say right now that's like my best buddy, and then the other guys like they're all really really close. So they're good friends, but I'm going to tell you how I met these people and how you can meet these people too. Someone actually made a comment about, how to find friends, I'm guessing, in the last video. So I'm just going to talk about that. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Steven. I make these videos where I have this whiteboard and I'm like, this is why you're stupid. And this is how to not be stupid. Or like, this is how I was stupid. Like, I was a silly pants. Now I'm less of a silly pants because of something that I did. And that's basically all I talk about. But I talk about philosophy and psychology and self-improvement and business and whatever the fuck I feel like talking about. And if you want me to talk about something, leave a comment below and talk about it, because I talk about what my subscribers want to talk about. Yeah, go ahead and subscribe. This is the 100 subscriber special. I want to thank everyone that subscribed. I think we're at 120 subscribers now, and that's like sick because I'm a normal person and I didn't have a YouTube channel 6 months ago. So this is pretty cool, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll grow exponentially. Maybe it won't grow, but at least 120 of you will be satisfied. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll talk more about whatever the fuck I'm learning at the current time. But let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, I want to talk about how you find your friends now. So like, here's you, and then you like, doesn't it just kind of feel like we all just spawned in with like 20 friends? Maybe I'm a little bit different, but I don't know about you, but like I was a relatively popular person in high school. Um, and I'm not saying that to brag because it literally doesn't fucking matter. But I had a lot of friends in high school, and in college too. I had a lot of friends. So like, here's my friend group from high school, and then like in college, I had even more friends because I was in a fraternity. So like my close group of buddies was like actually literally 60 people. Like there were 60 people in my fraternity in college. So like I already had friends in high school, and then in college I had like even more friends. And then one day I was like, fuck that. And I didn't want to drink anymore, and I didn't want to do the things that these guys were doing. So like our average hangout session was like this. We would meet up, and then we would like get drinks and do drugs, and then we go like clubbing or like bar hopping. I don't like, if you live in my area, that's like no fucking clubs here, but we'd go bar hopping or whatever, and then we would be degens, like be degenerates, and then we would like pass out somewhere. And then like actually in there we would do more drugs like before we passed out. That's like how it's like get drinks, do drugs, go out to bars, come back, like be degenerate at the fucking bar, and then like do more drugs, and then pass out on a couch somewhere, and then wake up the next day, and we would like actually just start over, and that's what we would do 4 days a week, seriously, 4 days a week, and then like while between, so like say we passed out at 4 in the morning and we woke up at 11, we were either up drinking again already, or we were all just sitting there scrolling through TikTok, waiting for 7 o'clock to roll around so we can all get up and go right back out and do more drugs and drink more alcohol and that sort of thing. And I lived in my fraternity house when I was in college, so I was at the hub. Like I just went to my room and passed out, and then I got back up and we just went and like got back to it, right? And the interesting thing is, there's always this like sense of peer pressure in groups, like big groups. So like regardless, if all of these guys, if all four of these guys say like let's go get drinks, like we're obviously going to get drinks. But then there's this like this side of it where if we're going to go get drinks, we also have to see who's going to get the most drinks, or like who's going to get the most drunk. And maybe that's just how I am, because I've always been the type of person like, how far am I going to take this? Like for example, business, I'm never going to fucking quit. And that's just how I am. But I feel like we all kind of had this same, I don't like to use the word alpha, but like this alpha mentality of like, I'm going to drink more than you. Like I'm going to alpha you in whatever word. It's just, it's competition. It's regular male like interactions, right? Like now it's changed a bit to where like I get people to do push-ups. That's my thing that I've been doing recently at the gym. Like if you know me in person and you've been to the gym with me, there's a chance that maybe I've gotten you to like get on the ground and do push-ups. And I like doing that. And I have friends that like my business partner, when we were first starting our business, every time we would like fuck up and get like confused and like stop talking and like started bullshitting, we would both get on the ground and pump out like whoever could pump out the most push-ups. And that's just how it is. The same thing goes for this friend group. So like everyone's out fucking getting drunk, doing drugs, and it's a horrific time, right? That's kind of how it was. But basically, like if we look at the real like breakdown of like why these guys are my friends, I decided like say this is me, and like this is also me, or this is me. Fuck that, right? Just I don't know, because it just makes more sense in my head that like. But in high school, I was friends because we all went to the same school together for like 4 years, and yeah, that's it. And we had classes together, and I was around them. And then college was the same way. I like joined the fraternity, and I was always around these guys. And basically, this is friends by association, and this is where you're probably at. You have friends by association because you guys happen to be in the same fucking fraternity together, or you're in the same school together, or whatever. And that's why you guys are friends. You're friends because you eat at the same lunch table every single day, and you've been eating at the same lunch table for the past 4 years. That's why you guys are buddies. And what ends up happening is, again, here is the group's proclivities. You decide you want to change that. You're like, you know what? I don't want to drink that much anymore. So you come over here and you like add. Let's get another marker. You leave the group and you add like I don't know, going to the gym in your routine of things, and your buddies don't go to the gym. Wow, dude, it's like all my markers are. Did I not say I was gonna get new markers? And I did. I just didn't get new like little black ones, and I fuck with the little black ones so heavy. It just I don't like how it. Whatever. I have to get over it. This one right here too. It's just this one's a fine tip. I don't know if you're paying attention, but so yeah, you start going to the gym, and they're like, "But dude, we got to go get drunk." And then you're like, "But I'm gonna go to the gym." And they're like, "But drunk, gym." And then that happens, and then they like start to resent you a little bit, and maybe not in like a. They don't mean to be hateful, but they end up being like kind of hateful, right? They're like, "Oh, bro, like even if you know that like you're fat, like just because you go to the gym like doesn't mean you're not gonna be fat." Or something like that. And then you're like, oh, you're right. And then you go back and you fucking do more drugs with them. And that's usually what ends up happening when someone tries to escape the group. And I really don't want to go too deep into that because I've already explained it. The point is, in other videos, you can go watch it if you want to, but the point is, this is what happens. Friends by association, and why people never leave, and why you're a make of the people you hang out with, is because every single time you try to go do something else that's not a part of the group, the rest of the tribe is going to say, no, this is our tribe, and this is the things that our tribe does. You need to do the things that the tribe does, or you will no longer be a part of the tribe. But we want you to be a part of the tribe. They don't say that out loud, but that's what happens. And that's friends with association. And I'm very happy that it took me 11 fucking minutes to explain. But let's go ahead and talk about how I find my friends now. So, first things first. You try to leave the friend group, and then they say the things that I was talking about, and you go back to the friend group. It's because you're not purpose-driven. And I've made a video on purpose. I have a full guide on purpose, and if I remember, I'll leave a fucking card at the top of the screen telling you whatever, like how to purpose. And if you have a purpose, then this doesn't necessarily matter. And if you look at the video that I made before, it was like my purpose, and I'll write my purpose on here. So my purpose, in a nutshell, is to provide value. I want to provide value to people and become the best of my ability. So my purpose is to provide value and become the best I can, in a nutshell. So the gym is one thing that aligns with my purpose. I have made my purpose, and again, you can go watch the video on my channel about how to fucking come up with your purpose. The gym aligns with my purpose. So I will go to the gym over, like, if it's drugs versus the gym, it's like, which one makes more sense? Right? Obviously, the gym, right? Obviously, the gym makes more sense in this situation. Okay? So let's line something up again with it too. So again, after we pass out, before we go get drinks again, we're like hanging out on the couch. So like this is the word I used to use, booling. Like we're just booling, right? Booling is like, just hanging out. Like we're about to go find something to do. Like we don't have anything to do. We're just like chilling, right? So booling is the thing we were doing versus homework, just as an example, right? I'm going to pick homework because that aligns with providing value, and like going to the gym and doing homework helps me become the best that I can. Now, I don't do homework anymore, but back then, this is like, if I was purpose driven, I would have been doing homework. But now let's replace that with work, right? And again, this is gonna come full circle. So just give it a second. The gym and work. So let's kind of break this down. Where do I work at? Right? I work at home, and I also go find like coffee shops to work at. At least right now, that's what I do. If anyone's like a work from home kind of person, and they have a great idea of where you should go work, where it's like kind of quiet, let me know. But I'm pretty sure like coffee shops is like the best one. I don't know, whatever. If I'm always providing value and becoming the best I can, these no longer align with my purpose, so I will not do those things. However, I will be at home, the coffee shop, and the gym, right? These are 3 places that I will be at, okay? Because I'm purpose driven. So the 2 places that I'm at outside of home are the gym and the coffee shop. Now, let's look at some other things here, right? Maybe, and this is a stretch, but I don't actually go to like Sprouts or like one of those like really nice like food places where you can buy like really fire, like apparent like good for you food. I shop at Walmart, okay? But some people shop at those kind of places, and let's say maybe that's you. You go to the gym a lot, and you're like, I'm really worried about my diet, so you go to a healthy store. I hope someone's starting to see like where I'm going with this. And then another thing too, you like to read books. Bam, you gotta go fucking get books. So bookstore is another place you go to. And I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else that I really go. That's really about it. I go to the gym, I go to the coffee shops, I go to the bookstore sometimes, and I go to the store. That's about it. Oh, and there's like one restaurant that I go hang out at sometimes, but I haven't found friends in that restaurant. So my point is the gym, the coffee shop, and the healthy store and the bookstore, right? So I'm at the coffee shop and I'm sitting down and I'm working, and I look over across from me and there's a guy, and I speak to the. I'm gonna actually explain the story. I'm gonna tell you the fucking story. So I come in and one day I'm working on my stuff, and the girl at the counter, me and her are like kind of cool because every day I come in, I order my coffee and we talk to each other, and she says one day I see her talking to this guy for like a long time, and she finally comes over to me afterwards, and I start talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, that guy's super cool. He does X, Y, and Z. I think you guys would get along." So when I get a good breaking point in my work, I go over and speak to this guy, right? And me and him chat for about 30, 45 minutes. Well, then I invite him to my mastermind class, um, and me and him connect. And now I talk to this guy probably once a week. He gives me a lot of value. He helps me out. We're super cool with each other. I give him value. He gives me, and like, it's a good time. I met him because I go to coffee shops. Right now, let's look at another scenario. Actually, in my situation, the internet. I'm going to tell you about how my mastermind class started in general. So my first video on YouTube or ever like anywhere, I made a course on how to do like like not Google advertising, but like how to increase your website ranking on Google, how to build a website, just a little bit of help with SEO, how to post Facebook ads, and I think there was and I was basically trying to sell a CRM back then. I did that, and I went on Instagram and I made a video of myself in my roommate's car, and I was like, "Hey, my name's Steven, and I have a marketing course, and I'm giving it away. And like, if anybody wants it, go check it out." And I put that on Instagram. And then, like a couple days later, uh, I had like after you went and like checked out the marketing thing, like when you signed up for it, you could also get access to like a calendar page where we could set like a 30-minute meeting. And I had a buddy of mine who I hadn't spoke to in like 4 years sign up, and his name was on the calendar, and I was like, no fucking shot, like that's sick, right? And there was a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, and we were like super cool back in the day, but we kind of fell off, after school ended. And anyway, one day we hop in a call together, and we become homies. And now him and I have worked on several business like projects together. Him and I host our mastermind group, and like I hang out with this guy regularly, and he's super cool, and he's given me a lot of help. He's given me a lot of things that he's helped me out, and he's unlike any other person that I've worked with or met, right? Like, remember, old friends still doing this stuff, but this guy, because I put something on the internet, I now met this guy, and he's now someone in my net worth or network. I was thinking of that phrase, "Your network is your net," or your network is your net worth. Yeah, and that's kind of why I said that. So I'm just gonna basically, this is step one, right? Step one is to develop a purpose. If you haven't developed a purpose, that's like the most important thing that you need to do every of the always now, because having a purpose is not only going to help you do the right thing, which is this stuff here. I guess if you consider that the right thing, I guess my right thing is subjective to however I feel, and I guess there is no objective right. Oh yeah, sure. Here, let's do another one. Church. That's a place that people hang out when they're doing good. So that's the first step. And the second step, and this is actually the harder one, and this is like what I want to make sure everyone like stays for in the video. And I didn't say anything at the beginning because I'm new at this YouTube shit, but I need to be saying like, you need to stay till the end because number two will shock you. But like, here we go. So number two is to walk up to people. And I want to actually, this video might go like very long because I said this. I know we're already at like 21 minutes, which is crazy. But I actually might make like this a really big think I might even make another video on this. I think that as a society, we have a problem where whenever you see someone, it's like weird to like go talk to them, like interact with them, or even just smile and wave. Like, I think people just don't do that a lot, and I've been that person too. And I'm going to give you some tips to go walk up to people. Maybe this will help you get a girlfriend. Who knows, right? But tips on walking up to people. And the reason why you need to walk up to people is because that's the only way you can make friends. Let's just be real here, right? So you're in the right places, okay? Because if you're in a bar, like you're not going to find your business partner. Like sure, you can go walk up to him, but like the first step is the purpose. You're most likely not going to find a good business partner in a bar. Let's just be real here, okay? But in a coffee shop, and then you walk up to somebody, now you see it's clicking, it's making sense. So I'm actually going to erase like all this shit, and just maybe give my tips for walking up to people. Who knows? I might fuck around and make this another whole video because this video is getting kind of long. But who knows? I'm not going to do it. I've already decided. I will make a more in-depth video on this. So I go on walks pretty often, and well, this is two. I go on walks pretty often, and I don't take my phone, and I don't take my phone. I don't like have earpods in or AirPods, and I like go and I walk around and I think about shit because I think that's the only like critical thinking happens when you're away from technology. And what happens is I end up walking. I like come across people and I see them, and they like shy away, or I'll yell out. I'll be like, "How's it going?" And then they like don't hear me the first time. I'm like, "How's it going?" A second time, and they kind of hit this awkward like, like this. I don't know, like this weird little like, just like little passive pussy ass hi. I just bro, I hate it. And this happens 9 times out of 10. So and then like if you ever do get to talking to someone, they're like always kind of like skittish. Maybe it's just me, like maybe I'm just awkward, but like from what I've noticed, it just seems like nobody ever wants to have a conversation, and that's not okay. And I think the biggest portion of that has to do with the cell phone. So I guess the one of the biggest things you can do is like take your AirPods out, or like any music. Like take that shit out of your ears. Like when you're working or when you're at the gym or okay, at the gym, here's my tip. Take your AirPods out. Like don't put them in until you're like about to go work out. And then for your whole set, you can have the AirPods in the entire time. But from when you get to there to like when you walk in the door and like check in and then go to put your stuff down, take your AirPods out and you'd be surprised. Or like I don't know if you ever worked without AirPods, but you'd be surprised at the amount of times you have opportunity to initiate conversations with people, but you're just not listening because you don't have your AirPods in. Same thing in the store. Like I'm big with having my AirPods in the store. Now I go to Walmart and I actually took my AirPods out the other day, and I hated it. Like I felt like I was around a bunch of weird people, because everyone in there just looks like they haven't showered in 2 days. I don't, whatever. But yeah, take your AirPods out of your ears, like at the gym. And this kind of leads into my second thing is warm up. So like warm up with people you see, right? There's some people that you're like clearly not going to be friends with, and even if you speak to them, um, like you just know, like if it's like an 80-year-old man, and you're just meeting him for the first time, like odds are you guys aren't going to go kick it together one day, you know. Um, and maybe he's like checking in at the same time as you at the gym, and you just say like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or the girl behind the table at the reception, right? And now you've like warmed up your people skills, and then maybe you go walk by somebody and you like smile and you wave, right? That's another thing too. So warm up convo, and then smile at people, right? And that's always really really good too. It's just like have a warm up conversation. You walk inside and you see someone, you're like, "Hey," or you like go walk down and you see another person, and you just like I don't know, maybe cheer someone on, like someone's like lifting a weight like really heavy, and you're like, "Dude, nice job, like keep it up, you got it, you got it." And like people are gonna want to be around you if you have. So like here's you, and say you're in the gym, and then like you applaud this guy over here, and then you're nice to him, and then like there's other guy over here lifting weights, and you ask him like what he's hitting today, and then like this guy over here, you call him big because he's massive. And then, like now you have three people in your ambiance that you've like created this aura around yourself where like you're kind of the center and you're speaking to all these other people. This is exactly what I do in the gym. This is like why I know 90% of the people that go to my gym, because I've been going for 2 years, but also I literally tell everyone that they're fucking massive and that they're super cool. And like, and I don't do that as like a manipulation tactic. It's like a genuinely, yeah, here we go. Be genuine. Humans I spelled that wrong. Humans are exceptionally good at sniffing out intention. And that's something I learned from Alex Ramosi in his sales training. If you can really be intentional about the things you say, people will like more likely to be friends with you, like be cool with you. And I think that like one big thing is, I don't know, like for me, I've caught myself many times actually being like so super genuine. Like when you're smiling and you see someone, you're like, dude, you're fucking massive. And then they're like, bro, and I don't know. It feels like a lot of people shy away because they're not used to hearing compliments. They're like, I'm not that big. And they like do this little thing. That's when you have the opportunity to be like, no, dude, like look at yourself. Like you're huge, and like grab their muscles and all this stuff. And then I don't know. I've had people be like, dude, you like really made my day. And I appreciated that. And that's sick. Right. Now you start creating this little circle of people around you. Now everyone's not going to be your friends. They're just going to be like people in your environment. Right. But then slowly over time, you're going to talk to some of these people and be like super cool. And you're going to create this aura around you. And more people are going to start coming around. Right. And they're going to be like, oh, I see you in the gym all the time. I've, like you seem like super cool. And like, all these people everywhere, they're going to be like in your area. You don't have to befriend everyone and be like, let's go get coffee to every fucking person you see. Which I don't know about you, but I think it's a little awkward when like someone after the first time I meet them, they're like, let's get coffee. And I'm like, I don't fucking know you. And I think that's very big. Like I think for women too, when like you just meet a girl and you're like, let's get coffee. And it's like in an area like the gym. Like if you meet a girl in the gym, but like you see her every day, and then like after the first time you're like, let's get coffee. It's like, that's my opinion. But obviously, like if you meet someone in the store or at a bookstore, it's going to be a little bit different. But like you can have conversations about common interests, right? Like everyone in the gym likes the gym. And what's going to happen is you're going to find one of these guys right here. This guy like does drop shipping. Because guess what? He's there because he's purpose driven too. And this guy right here invests in money in the stocks slash Bitcoin. Right? He's an investor. And this guy right here, he likes to read. And what ends up happening is and I guess I'm using the gym as my example. But what ends up happening is you can kind of like fade out everybody else here, and then you find like 3 or 4 people that you actually like really are like super cool with, and then some of these guys like really become your fucking friends. And I think one of the biggest questions that I like to ask is like, what do you do? So like if you don't have any questions, if you don't know what to ask them, like what do you do? Like literally, just like everyone does something. They go to school, they fucking sit in their mom's basement, they work at a restaurant. Like you'll learn really cool things about someone when you ask them what kind of job they have. And I also like, I don't like to judge people, but like you can really like see what kind of person someone is off of their job and like how long they've been working there and like what exactly they do. It's like I dropped out of college and I ride a dump truck and I've been there for 2 years and I'll never be as big as you. It's like when you meet someone like that, like I'm gonna steer clear of this guy. But if you meet someone and they're like, oh yeah, I do stocks and Bitcoin, I hang out, I like to read a lot, and you start talking about books and you see like what you guys like to read. But now look at this. You found friends who have relatively similar propensities as you, or they have the propensity of self-improvement just like you. I don't know if I use that word properly, but whatever. So now everyone in your routine has like similar, not everyone in your routine, everyone in your circle has similar routines, right? Like it's like work and then gym and then home, or like, I don't know, sleep. That's it. That's all they do, right? And then when you try to tell your one buddy, hey, I'm not gonna work today, or like I didn't work very hard today, they're gonna be like, dude, what the fuck? Like you have to work. And you're gonna say like, no, I actually like got drunk tonight. And now it's like no longer cool for you to get drunk because these guys aren't drinking. These guys all have six packs and they want you to get a fucking six pack too. So that way you can like go hang out with them in the summertime and look super cool around the women. But like you don't have a fucking six pack. And so they're always like, let's do abs, let's do abs, let's do abs. You know, I always find people that I want to hang out with just simply by like if it's in the gym specifically, just asking them to like do something with me. Like, hey, bro, you want to hit this with me? Um, like you want to do some push-ups with me? And if they start bitching like, oh, bro, I don't know if I want to do push-ups and it's stupid, and I know that guy's probably not gonna be my friend. But the people that hop on the ground, they're doing all the push-ups, and we're, it's cool. Those are the people that I hang out with. You'll have acquaintances and friends, hopefully. But like 90% of the people you meet will end up being acquaintances. And you'll find that, like, actually, even though, like, this dropshipping guy's cool and, like, this stock guy's cool, this is the only one that, like, you fuck with. For real, that's your friend. Um, I want to tell this quick story. I know this video is going long as shit, but basically, there was this one guy that I met I met this guy at the gym. My business partner Federico. He knew this other guy at the gym, and they were like kind of cool. The only reason they talked to each other was because they both liked the same soccer team or football team, whatever, and they became buddies like that. I started chatting with this guy too a little bit. I asked him what he did. He installs like courts, like basketball courts, and or really it was like tennis courts, and like he like lays, what's that stuff called, turf, and yeah, like make soccer fields and that kind of stuff. I was like, that's super cool, and it's like his company, and it's going pretty well for him. And I was talking to him about it, and I said, I could probably help you with some of the marketing. And he's like, I got a buddy of mine that actually, he's trying to help me with some of that stuff. And he showed me a little bit of what his buddy did, and turns out his buddy like kind of does the same thing that I do. We had similar offers. So me and this guy met up for coffee one day. He, the guy at the gym that I met, he gave me the other dude's number. He's like, we need to meet for coffee one day. We met up for coffee. We started working together, and then sooner or later, it's been about a month or two since I met this guy, and now him and I have call sheets together where we track each other's cold calls and see who made more cold calls and more sales and whatever, in the business side of things. We message each other all day, like, hey, are you making your calls? Hey, I just had this new idea. Like, I have someone else that's in the exact same space as me that understands me, and he lives a couple blocks down the road. And now me and this guy link up for coffee like once a week, and we work together and that kind of thing. We're like accountability partners, and he's got another buddy too. And sooner or later, now I've built myself a friendship group that's worth having. And that, my friend, is how you find like-minded people to be friends with. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, and go out and find some friends, bro. Go talk to people. Use some of this stuff that I talked about here. Take your AirPods out, warm up conversation, smile, be genuine, and ask people what they do. Ask them questions. And I promise you, eventually you will run into the right people. But very, very first, most important thing is to align yourself with your purpose, because when you're doing purpose-driven stuff, you will be in areas to find the people that are on the same track as you. Like-minded individuals attract. Like-minded individuals attract, right? If you want to find the right people, you're not going to find them at a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning taking Jaeger bombs. That's it. So stop scrolling through social media, because it is not good for you to find. You're not going to find friends on the fucking internet. Even though I found a friend on the internet, but whatever. You get my point. Stop scrolling on social media because it's awful for you.